Okay, we've got a lot of people coming in. Thank you so much again for joining us with our NetApp and NetApp quarterly webinar. And today our topic is architecting AI with NetApp AI Data Engine. And joining us to speak on that is Grant Getz. He is a senior project manager for AI at NetApp and serves as customer zero for the AI Data Engine, helping prove how AIDE delivers real practical value in real-world IT environments. We also have Aditi Sharma, who is Director of AI Product Management at NetApp and focused on building products that revolutionize both time to insight and ROI for enterprise Gen AI initiatives. Thanks so much for joining us today, guys.
Awesome, thank you. First of all, thank you everybody for joining. We have a lot of attendees here. It's a NetApp record, so that's awesome that you guys have this much interest in AIDE. We'll talk a little bit about the agenda, and then I'll pass it over to Aditi to get started. Just a little refresher on AIDE itself, why it's valuable, what it does, and then we'll talk pretty deeply on our use cases for AIDE, how we're using them internally and externally. We'll go through a high-level architecture of the AI data engine and how it's used within our use cases. We'll also spend a good amount of time doing some demos of the use cases that we spoke about, and then we'll end with some Q&A to hopefully address any questions you have and any concerns around how you may be implementing them in your customers' environments or your environments. I'll pass it over to Aditi.
Thanks, Grant, and thank you so much for being here. Super excited about the session. We want to keep it interactive, so any questions, please put it in a chat. We'll get to it right away. All right. So before we talk about AI data engine, let's talk about the top challenges that enterprise AI is facing. We spoke to over 1,200 SMEs from different enterprises about their experience with AI. We sat down for detailed discussions with 100 enterprises about their data, their tools, and their workflows. And we also connected with dozens of analysts and read more reports than we wanted to. Consistently, the biggest blockers for enterprise AI adoption is related to data and data infrastructure. There is no great AI without great data. So these four challenges continually surfaced in our discussions, and let's spend a minute on this before we get to AI data engine. The first one is that operationalization is complicated. Enterprises shared that they must deploy and manage 13 plus different tools or platforms across data discovery, metadata management, data sync, governance, semantic search, and AI transformation to build an end-to-end AI data pipeline. The second challenge is data itself. Everyone has huge complex data estates now, different clusters, different data centers, different topologies. And it is really difficult to find the right data and get the right access when you need it. So this has turned up as one of the top causes of AI product failures. And on average, enterprises are saying that they must export, copy, and manage more than 6+ copies of data across the end-to-end AI pipeline. This challenge gets more severe when you think about unstructured data, which is a lot of text, PDF, audio, videos like CCTV. There is no easy way to find and access this data. There's also no easy way to keep the data fresh because if you do AI on stale data, your results are not great. The third challenge is what all of us know about, that data is continuously under threat. And with AI and Gen AI, we have new threat vectors and new level of sophistication. The existing security solutions that most of our customers have, they are not built for Gen AI pipelines. So what our customers are doing, they are pulling together multiple tools to get the AI security part figured out. And they are very afraid of the kind of exposure they are getting with the Gen AI pipelines today. And lastly, the raw data cannot be used by Gen AI. It needs to be transformed. It needs to be either vectorized or it needs to go in a GraphQL. So that is another challenge and new technical area for most of our customers. All these problems we directly address with AI Data Engine. This is a new reality for enterprise AI. This is a new exciting area for NetApp. And with this product, we are now going to address new personas like data engineers, data scientists, and security ops, in addition to our storage admins. AI Data Engine makes AI simple, affordable, and end-to-end secure, right from ingesting data to on-tap storage to supplying it to any Gen AI agent or application. Let's quickly talk about the key components of AI Data Engine. So the first is on-tap storage. AI Data Engine can access any data on on-tap storage directly. Then the the module to start AI Data Engine is your familiar System Manager. In System Manager, you can now see the data compute nodes with GPU, and that's where you start AI Data Engine. So using the same tools and same storage to start your AI initiatives. The metadata engine will automatically generate a structured, up-to-date interactive view of all NetApp data. It will enable the data scientists and data engineers to easily find and understand the data using the file name, extension, and other metadata factors. The next module, data sync, is powered by SnapMirror and SnapDiff, and that keeps the data current. So whenever your source data changes, the data pipeline also changes in real time. So you don't have to worry about copy pasting and making sure that you are manually syncing the data. The third module is data guardrails, which will continuously scan, classify, and categorize data. It offers policy-based automatic handling of sensitive data as per the corporate or industry guidelines. It can automatically redact the sensitive data. It can apply policies before vectorization. It can exclude files from the entire AI pipeline if you want so. So very easy to work with, and it builds in data governance into the AI pipeline. And finally, the data curator module, which is transforming your data. So when you take your raw data on ONTAP storage, you need to vectorize it before it can be ingested and used by Gen AI chatbots or agents. So data curator will help the data engineers easily curate the data collection and automatically vectorize and make it ready for Gen AI consumption. At the end of this, you get a context retrieval API endpoint that can be integrated with your favorite chatbots and AI agents to serve your AI use case. These are some of the customer benefits. AI Data Engine allows our customers to operate seamlessly at scale. It will eliminate the customers needing to buy 13 or more tools to make an AI pipeline. It drastically will improves accuracy and reduces time to insight. Instead of taking months to get an AI initiative started and get meaningful results, you can see it in days and weeks. And as Grant runs through the use cases, you will see it live in action. We spoke about data guardrails, and AI Data Engine can inherently protect the data and reduce the privacy and cybersecurity threats. Uh, Built on cutting edge NetApp technologies and being able to optimize the vector embeddings and reduce the storage needed by more than 5 times, it will also reduce the storage cost and boost performance. And lastly, AI Data Engine supports responsible AI. Our customers, data engineers, data scientists, they will be able to maintain traceability and explainability of AI models post-deployment through robust versioning and seeing what data is used for what use cases and which version is accomplishing what. So this was a very quick overview of AI Data Engine. I will take the questions on chat and Grant over to you for the use cases.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Move this a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to be going into the use cases. Again, we acted as customer zero, so really the first people to use AIDE, and we really wanted to kind of unleash the power of it, kind of show the art of the possible. And we wanted to focus on three different types of use cases. One internally to our sales team, one internally to our support team, and then one externally for our customers. And so that's what you see in these three use cases here. The first one being the solution consult for our sales team. This is basically a chatbot that is internal to our sales team and available on public and most importantly, the curated data that our competitive intelligence team create. So making sure that they have a private instance to access that competitive data more effectively. Before having a chatbot in front of that, it was asking the competitive intelligence team directly. The competitive intelligence team would have to answer probably the same question 10, 15 times, especially if it was a popular topic. And so we wanted to find a way that we could provide that data more seamlessly to our sales team to access if they were going into a meeting, if they were wanting to get refreshed on our portfolio and how to position it, and just really being a right hand man to their needs when they're going in and trying to position the NetApp portfolio effectively, or answer any questions that they get on the fly. And so I want you to focus on these use cases from the perspective of what's possible in your accounts. And I say that because in this example, we're talking about curated content from our competitive intelligence team, right? But if you take that and apply it anywhere, if you, whether you're oil and gas and you want to put a chatbot on top of all of your data from a drill site, or your financial company, you want to on certain documents around on how you can better serve your internal users with the data that you've curated and then that is available internally to your um, uh, available internally to all of your employees, just finding a way that you can surface that data more effectively, make your end users more efficient, and ideally put that in front of them in a way that they've never experienced before with a chatbot that doesn't require waiting time of weeks or days in order to get their answer as fast as they need it. So that solution consult was kind of the first path into using the AI data engine and having that secure platform underneath to ensure our data was available quickly through the vectorization. The second one is the AI digital assistant. This is really the customer facing use case and one that I like to think of as one of the most powerful use cases we'll have as we're developing cool things at NetApp. It's really the NetApp intelligence at our customers' fingertips. So imagine having a expert level storage admin in your environment that can answer questions about your environment, um, help you troubleshoot, help you be more efficient in understanding, insights about your data and your environment and giving you recommendations on how to improve it, and just really helping you streamline any tasks that we can automate. And so this is kind of like our first step in using the AI data engine and agentic AI within our customer environments. And then we wanted to turn that same type of insight and power over to our support team as well. Support is actually one of the most popular use cases for Gen AI across the enterprises. And so being able to find ways that we can leverage the AI data engine and agentic AI to bring that intelligence from across NetApp and our customer environment directly into solving cases more efficiently has proven to start to be very powerful. So these are just a few use cases that we're going to dive into today. I wanted to start and just give you an overview of what those are, but how this works and what this looks like. I'll move this over a little bit. Um, this is kind of a high level overview of how we're using the AI data engine as well as things that we built on top of the AI data engine that AIDE will have in the future. And what you see here, the top part is really where AIDE fits, the classifiers, guardrails, data collection, the vectorization, which Aditi talked to recently, is extremely important. Think of this as the foundation to anything you're doing with AI in the enterprise. And so if you don't have this, it's going to be a really hard process to deliver on the results that you're hoping to have. And by having that solid foundation, it's going to make your life a lot easier when it comes to creating AI projects across the enterprise because that data is ready, it's secure, and it's vectorized. It's ready for the AI applications that you're putting into. We also did this in partnership with NVIDIA. Jensen actually talked about this on stage and how we're using the NVIDIA Nematron agent toolkit and how we're using that agentic framework to basically build agents that not only are specific to data sources across NetApp, but also being able to build agents that are specific to the task that we need in order to get the best answer. So whether it's an RBAC agent that makes sure that the user that's asking the question has access to the data that they're asking the question about, or an agent that makes the plan and executes on that plan or summarizes it for the user, and having that knowledge graph that can basically map all of the different types of data sources and point basically act as a manager agent that can summarize what the user is looking for in a cohesive and understandable way. So this is kind of a very high level overview of what we're doing. and I'll dive into these use cases and how that actually looks in real time. Another high level diagram, just so you can get an idea of what that agentic framework actually looks like for things like the digital assistant and the smart solve support agent. Again, the internal and external use cases. We wanted to build a agentic framework that was uh, specific to NetApp intelligence across NetApp. So think of each of these different squares as its own agent, specific to the data source or this AIQ, hardware universe, case data, documentation, EMS logs, um, and probably even most importantly, the auto support data, right? Being able to have the agentic AI have the ASAP data directly available is a pretty challenging task, but being able to do that on the structured data is proved to allow you to turn the corner on the types of results you'll get from the agentic AI and AIDE. So now we'll go into the demos. The first one I wanted to talk through is the Smart Solve. So this is the internal use case for our support team again. Essentially, you can go into your support cases. You can ask it, okay, can you analyze the specific case for me? You put in your case number, the agents start working together. You can get a summary and it says, okay, I realize that this is, the information about the cluster. I realize that this primary issue is a head swap issue. Again, it's looking at the ASAP data, it's looking at the configuration of the controllers, it's showing you the significance of the issue, right, and why it's important to resolve it. It's giving you details from the case data. Uh, it's showing you KB articles, considerations on how to resolve it and the dependencies to be aware of. It's giving you evidence directly from that auto support data that we're getting in the agentic framework. It's providing step-by-step guidance on how to resolve the case, um, and then also offering further help and then relating it to other cases that we solved in the past. So what you're seeing here is a very powerful tool because without something like this, where you're bringing all that data together and allowing your users to access it via a chatbot, it's actually a very fragmented process. You're going to one source to look at the logs, and you're going to another source to try to match the case data. You're searching for knowledge-based articles and documentation that may help you. You may be messaging certain subject matter experts. So when you're able to bring that NetApp intelligence to a single place, it proves to be very powerful in the efficiency of solving those cases. So like this is kind of a universal use case in my mind where you can start to build out a really powerful agent within the enterprise to help your support teams. We have here is just kind of an overview of what we're using and how it works. So we get the user query. We have an agent that understands if you have access to the data you're asking about. We use a query intent analysis to make sure we understand what the user is asking. We create a plan on how we can address this question, and then we execute on that plan and we summarize it. So these are all their own agents within that. Um, and just being able to kind of lay out how we're bringing that data to the surface. You can also ask other more specific questions. Can you share the recent changes on a specific cluster? So you got diving in more into the troubleshooting, and then it can list all the changes that happened recently in that environment. So another great way to kind of get a summary of what's happening through the log files in that environment. Now I'll go over to the digital assistant. And so this one is in the customer environment. So similar to a Smart Solve Support Agent, we can start to ask questions about the environment like this. Which clusters are eligible for an upgrade? It'll give me all the clusters, the current version, the version that we recommend them to move to. We can ask, are there any blockers to the upgrading this specific cluster? And it will give me all the information around any upgrade risk that I have, any things that I should be aware of, or blockers or warnings. I can then kind of look at next steps. I can ask, after I upgrade this cluster, are there any risks that I should be aware of? And then it will show risks that are mitigated by upgrading. It will show risks that are not mitigated. And so you have a clear picture and understanding prior to doing that upgrade on your ONTAP system. Um, there's another one. Can I add more capacity to this cluster? So a pretty common question, and it can get pretty complex because you need to consider everything about the environment as well, the configuration, what's compatible, and that's when you start to look at things like hardware universe to make sure that you have the compatibility to add the storage that you may need. So for in this example, we recommended this shelf and these NVMe SSDs, and this how much it'll add about 80 terabytes of capacity. But we're not actually, just trying to upsell here in this scenario. We're actually trying to help the customer, right? So we're saying, okay, these are what we would recommend and what would work. But we also noticed that you should be looking at other things that could help you with like, expanding. So whether it's adding the shelves in the SSDs or leveraging a feature that you do not have turned on, like Fabric Pool for cold data tiering, just helping them understand what's available to them, and then or optimize your existing data and making sure that you're planning for that future growth. So again, what you're seeing here is bringing that NetApp intelligence, that subject matter expert, essentially directly into the customer environment and allowing them to ask questions directly to self-service them, which ultimately helps our support team, take off cases that they would otherwise do on a repetitive basis and give a better customer experience by providing that knowledge directly in their environment. Again, you can ask the question like, what are some recent changes in my environment? I imagine if you were going into your environment for the first time in a couple of weeks, being able to kind of see what's changed, what you should be aware of, and then us proactively being able to share what um, may have changed in your environment and what you should be paying attention to is something that we'll continue to provide and we'll be bringing to the surface in our customer environments in the future. The last one is the solution consult. Again, this is specific to us. We're curating competitive data and we're asking a question about a customer going into a customer meeting about their scenario. 1 petabyte of mixed workloads. They want to manage the considerable file data, primarily invoices, images, contracts, historical records, etc. And they want good performance. Can you suggest what platforms I should be using? And so that question will be asked, and then the chatbot will look at all our curated data. It'll bring back a very summarized and informative information about how it should be positioned, things that you should be aware of, why certain options are better than the other, and just really acting again as an expert on our curated data that's available privately in our environment. So this is a powerful tool that in this scenario is the competitive data, but again, can be used on any of that data that you may have in the environment. We can also ask it follow-up questions like, do we anticipate they would want options on data migration and data security in relevant areas, so we can start to bring in other information around those types of questions and positioning of those features that we have. And then you can start to ask around, for different types of customers, whether it's public facing or in private sector, and also get the similar types of answers and relevant to the context that they're asking the question in. So again, these are just kind of cool examples of how we're starting to leverage AI data engine internally and externally, and to start to build really cool product for our customers, but also ensuring that we're providing that efficiency gain directly to our users. Um, uh, and by using the AI data engine and improving really the art of the possible. Again, I'll go back to our slides here. I think we went through that pretty quickly, and hopefully it shows some kind of cool use cases of what we're doing here. I keep moving this around. Again, we have these three use cases that we've started with, but we also started to expand this into some other ones. And just really, again, think about these as, obviously examples of how we're using them, but underlying like how could you position this in your customer environment through the data that they have, through the use cases that they're trying to use it for, and also and some of these being somewhat universal, right? Whether it is building a powerful support agent internally for your customers, or building a chatbot that's basically a expert on any of the data that they have and being able to bring that to the surface in a cohesive way, and then also building products for their own customers, leveraging the data that they have and positioning it in a way that they can bring that intelligence to the surface to empower their customers to do better work, and ultimately hopefully be more satisfied.